Hookah. You opening some mail? Oh boy. Let's go. Didn't see this coming.
The day of the recording, baby. Happy Stone Cold
316
Steve Austin Day.
That's right.
Oh,
Good call.
man.
Let me sip some tea about it.
Yep. Get it right. Exactly. I could still celebrate with some tea. Yep. Get some stunners, drink some beers.
Couple Steve Weisers. Ooh yeah, chamomile lavender. Ooh.
That was kind of a macho man.
I don't know why I
there.
did a ooh yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
Stone Cold
defaulted,
Steve
yeah.
Austin, dig it.
What?
No.
Chamomile.
Wrestling.
Lavender what?
Get a tea. What? Put in some chamomile. What? Lavender. What?
Dude, that's right.
Stone Cold was in
We're
the
in the-
PG era.
We are in that week of March.
Where there's
We
just
previously
like
discussed.
every
day's
day
a
is
day.
just something.
Yeah.
There was, I was told a joke,
Okay.
and it was on 3.14 Pi Day. And it was like, why don't you have I believe this is paraphrasing. Why don't you ever want to start a conversation with pi? And the answer is because it just keeps going on and on and on. And I was asked the question, and I like being asked dad questions because I like to see if I've never heard of them, can I just figure out what the quirky answer is? And I said, because they're irrational. And that wasn't the answer. And I'm like, I'm like, I had a good, reasonable answer. And then I heard the answer. I'm like, okay, well, I like that one too. So it was I was pleased to know that question can be asked. And there are variants of answers.
Mm-hmm. Goes on and on. That's good. Wow. See what this is yielding all these these days? I think people are over Pi Day, by the way, like as a thing. Like the last couple of years at the store, they always celebrate and put a bunch of pies out. Nobody buys them. Nobody, nobody's that into it.
Are they discounted?
I don't know. Probably not.
Because if they're
I didn't
not,
even look.
then no one's
I'm not
gonna buy.
interested.
No one's gonna buy it for the charm. They buy it for the price. Okay, let's stop being like, you know what? I wasn't gonna enjoy a cherry pie today, but because you guys reminded me of the date, I feel morally obligated to have a cherry pie.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna write to the family and let them know.
Out of like pies, would you say people eat pies? Ooh. Would you say we eat pie or cake more in a lifetime? Do you think you have days in which, not quantity, days in which you ingest cake or pie? Which do you think wins? Now, cake, you have to consider. How many birthdays am I celebrating? That's at work, outside of work, everything. Pies, again, no one's really buying pies outside of holidays. Pies are a holiday dessert. You don't be like, I'm going to buy pie and have some pie tonight. Pies are celebratory as well, but for holidays as opposed to birthdays. Which do you think we consume more of in our lifetime?
Hot topics, man. Sorry, guys. You thought you were going to get away from hot topics this episode. Mm-hmm. Have we gone down the cake pie road on this show before? I feel like we have, so I'll just answer your question then.
Sure.
In my lifetime, I'll say probably pie because there's times I don't even eat the birthday cake at a birthday
absolutely.
party. Yeah, so
Ooh, that's interesting. So that's a good point. I am far more likely to turn down cake than pie.
Yeah.
If someone's like, "Do you
Like
want a slice
anytime-
of like
yeah.
if you want a slice of pie," I'm like, "Yeah, I do want to try this pie." Like, but there's plenty of times so I'll look at a birthday cake and I'm like, "No desire."
Like my family's really health conscious, so we usually always have pies and cakes at a party. And And it's the only time, like, I don't know why, my family always has dessert at every meal too. It's wild. I never have dessert in my life really any other place except for with my family. But there's always like a birthday cake for somebody's birthday, like my grandmother's a few weeks ago, and then my sister always makes some pie, or my mom buys one, and it's like, what do you want, pie or cake? And everybody always says pie. Nobody ever has the cake, and the cake sits there untouched except for the piece that has to be for the birthday recipient, and they have to dutifully eat it as part of their celebration.
Well, let's be honest. Pie, at most, you're going to put some whipped cream with it. I like some whipped cream with it, but it's not a deal breaker to not have whipped cream with my pie. Cake, if it is regular cake, meaning the only things involved are frosting and the cake itself. What do you call the non-frosted part of cake? Cake? Anyway, the breading. I don't know what that's called. If you have just those, it's missing something. You need something with it. So is it normal cake? Is it just like your standard, like 2-layered frosted circle cake?
Mm-hmm. Usually, I mean, if they had a little raspberry in there, that'd be all right. That'd be much more preferred. And here's another question. What's the better reference, pop culturally? Cake eater or poontang pie?
Ooh, both 90s terms that did not survive.
Yes, which one is?
Yeah. One is Disney, one is Attitude Era Wrestling. Very different aspects of the 90s. Disney's 90s and Attitude Era. Man, I think if you said them to people today, I think more people, if you're asking a man, a male of our age group, I think Poo-Tang Pie is going to be more likely memorable. But man, Cake Eater, see, like cake, the positive thing about
I still don't
Cake
know what
Eater,
it means. Still don't know what it means. Mighty Ducks reference. Nobody knows what it is.
And it's
just it's a burn. It's a burn.
I think it's racist. I think
it might be.
I don't know. I don't know if it's racist or like money or what, but it was because it always came from Jesse, didn't it? It was Jesse against Adam Banks. Yeah. So like that always felt like there was racial tension there. I don't know if Disney did that on purpose, but I'm not going to lie. I felt there was racial tensions between Jesse Hall and Adam Banks in Mighty Ducks 1 and 2.
Definitely. And also like the racial undertones or overtones of the Oreo line that I never understood.
Oh, yeah.
Where the center was like, a white kid and the two wingers were the black kids. So it was like the Oreo. I was like, ballsy, Disney, ballsy. But yeah, Jesse had that early Disney, like, young black rage and just took it out on Adam Banks.
Yeah.
Cake Eater. You know what? That is good, Cake Eater. I'm going to start using that. I'm going to start calling it people Cake Eaters and bring it back.
We just realized we don't. We realize we don't know what it is, but you're like, I'm bringing it back. You don't even know what it is. So what are you going to use it as?
I am going to use it to show off, be an alpha male, and then that will yield some poontang pie.
Huh. Wow. So
I'm going to go. We're 8 minutes in. This is off the rails.
I don't need no rails.
What is this, bumper bowling? Definitely probably the most robust conversation anybody's ever had on Cake Eater. And I mean, does everybody we're good. I think we're good. We don't need to keep.
Nope. I think Cake Eater's run its course.
All right, yeah. Hey, at the end of the show last week, when we were talking, you were like, "Oh shit," and you were like, "I forgot to talk about something," and you were like, "I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm gonna save it." Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, I noted it down.
And is it worth it a week later?
Yeah. Because I think there are going to be some people that can relate to it, and they're going to be like, "Oh my god, absolutely!" And there's going to be some people who are like, "This is really a thing." So I think it's a good topic. I think it's a topic. So you may have run into this. Now this is more likely to be those that work in a larger company, office centric, because it revolves around the use of company email.
Okay.
So, this man, we'll call him
This
Kyle. We'll call him Kyle because his name is Kyle. But I don't remember what his last name is, so his identity is protected. Kyle sent me an email that said, hey, what can we do with this? You know, hey, add this hood deflector, WeatherTech hood deflector onto this VIN, blah, 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 for a car. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm a trainer. I don't do
I was
any
like,
of this.
I didn't know you did that kind of shit.
Nope, I don't. So I'm like, oh, silly Kyle. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I go, well, did Kyle send this to me? Kyle sent this to some other person and this distribution list.
Oh, good.
Kyle's email
Oh, good.
went to what we believe is anybody in the company that expensed something on their company card in 2024 by the name of the distro list. So this went to probably at least a couple thousand people.
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
So I'm like, oh man, what a rascal. I'm like, I love when dumb shit like this happens.
Yeah.
But then my inbox goes ding, and another email comes in from another person I've never met. And they go, and it says, and it's just a question mark. Why? Because they hit reply all instead of reply.
Yep. So keep it going.
Ding. Someone else says, I don't believe I'm on this. I don't believe I should be on this email. I don't handle this file. I'm in this. Ding. I don't believe. Hi. Ding. 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 Ding.
He's on
Ding. Ding.
fire!
Yes. It started going insane. And what's amazing is that you get to analyze people of like, this is how you would respond in a professional manner. I'm like, you don't. I'm like, if something seems this off course for you, why are you not looking at that? Like, it shows me that people either don't pay attention or don't know how email works. I'm like, you can look to see who this was sent to so that you could understand. Like, what I did was I'm like, oh, he accidentally attached a distro list. Clearly this isn't for me. The only thing to do is delete the email and move on with your life.
End it. End the cycle of violence.
Oh, but dude, then after about 30, 40 emails, you get the people that start going, stop hitting reply all.
Yeah.
And they reply all to do that. And it's just like, bah!
It's a vortex.
So, dude, it ended up being over the course of about an hour on a Friday afternoon, we got 105 emails from different people. Because then you also saw Microsoft Outlook says, so-and-so's trying to recall their message. I'm like, dummy. You've already,
late.
I've already
It's too
seen you.
late.
So, like, I was in a meeting with probably about 80 other people, and like the upper manager that was running this was like, I'm sorry guys, are you guys seeing these emails coming through? He's like, I'm about to jot down the name of everyone who sent an email related to this to keep them on my list in case they ever post for a job in this department, so that I can bring this situation up and go, what were you doing here, and tell me why you did it. Like it, dude, it was the talk of the town. Like, I'm reaching out to old coworkers. I'm like, are you guys getting the Kyle email? And everyone's just like, imagine being on that list. Like, to have someone, Kyle's not even the problem. That's the best part. The poor guy who started this, that is a mistake.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
you made that mistake is beyond me, but it happened, whatever. Anyone replying to that, especially if you're like the 68th person, like you're like, what's going on? Is this for me? Like, dude, we had attorneys. I had one guy's name was an attorney he was an attorney manager. I'm like, you are in that position. I can imagine what you get paid, and you also participated in this cluster. It's amazing. It's truly breathtaking. And I could never, ever, if I ever had to work with that person, I could never take anything they do seriously. Ever. Any of those people.
And it sucks because you can't like get yourself off of it.
Oh no, no,
Right?
you can ignore the
How
conversation.
do you-
I'm not going to because
Oh,
I need
I
to
see what
fuel
you're
the
saying.
hate
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, okay.
So like I have to see how it keeps going. Like
It's an
it's not
entertaining afternoon. Yeah.
it's not even inconveniencing me. It's all that goes through my head is how can you be this bad at just being in an off like handling email? That's literally the people that go like, "Well, I don't normally use the email." Like, how are you this bad at piecing like you have no critical thinking skills because you're just like, "Oh, I reply all true. This is not for Jeffrey." Like it blew my mind. And now I saved all of the emails just because I'm that person, and I just put them in a folder that says the Kyle incident. And I just want that as like I remember this.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely happened before. I don't think I can really top that or expound too much. You've kind of nailed it and the feel of it and what happens, and it's always great. I mean, it's always great when that first person, or like, there's like an email that goes out to a distro list, but it's like, go to this form and answer, reply A, B, or C, just whatever. I don't know what just generically. And somebody instinctively hits reply all B.
Right.
It's like, good job, Timmy.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep.
You're doing work.
Crushing
You're
it.
doing
Yep.
work.
And it's in
I don't,
comics. It's in Comic Sans, and their text is
yes,
auto like
yeah,
in green,
Comic
and you're
Sans,
like,
like,
good.
bright pink, purple.
Yep.
Yeah, one of those.
It has an inspirational quote at the bottom.
Yeah. A parallel I can think of with the ding, 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 ding is like a Teams meeting. Like, especially like sometimes I have one that's like company wide or something like that, and there's like 150, 200 people on it. And I'm always like the first one out of there as soon as it's done. Like, I'm not going to stick around. But when you leave Teams, the meeting still exists in your chat, which people who use Teams might know this. So when all the blowhards at the end have to say, thank you so much. This was the greatest meeting. This was so worthwhile. This was like the best. So you get like ding, ding, ding of all these like brown nosy chats of like thank you. Like who do you think's counting these? Like, do you think somebody's out there like tracking your thank yous so that you're going to end up on some list someday? And it's like, it's just bizarre because then everybody that's already left, just their team chat is just going ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, dude, you gotta, we're good. We're done here. We're out.
It's really bad. Like, it's the same level of they'll be like, they'll send out an email and it'll be like, the senior executive vice president of directing has now been promoted to the executive senior president vice of direction. And then someone who's like 6 steps below me goes like, congratulations, well deserved. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, don't congratulate someone 9 steps ahead of you. I'm like, they don't care who you are. Stop. I go, and I'm not congratulating shit. Like, but yes, running meetings that you have to run because I'm your subordinate, I'm not thanking you for shit. What, you didn't do anything for me. Like, no. Like, I'm not mad and I'm going to do what the meeting tells. It's not that I'm being disrespectful. It's just like, it's brown nosing. Like you said, it's just, dude, the worst is that our trainees get to have a meeting, 2 meetings throughout their 3 weeks in, the more baseline training in claims that we put people through. They get 2 meetings. They get one with the president of the claims department, and they get one with the CEO. The CEO actually meets with the new hires once every 3 weeks. She does an hour-long meeting where she talks to them for about a half an hour and then takes questions. Non-vetted questions, which I believe is a risk in itself. Mm-hmm. So I always have it playing. I try to have it playing. I don't always, because sometimes I'm doing something else, but I'll always, because I'm invited to all of them as a trainer, I'll always have the chat up. And man, there are some people that are just like, you are so strong and powerful. Like, our CEO is a woman. So the most common feedback is from women, and it's just like, you are so...
Independent woman don't need no man.
Yeah, and man, it makes me seem jaded and stuff, and it's probably because I am, but it's just like, you and she are not the same person. You're not. like, she doesn't know your world. Like, but people love it because she's like...
She's a demon. She's a slayer. She's the CEO of a company. She's got some evil in her heart.
Well, right. No, there's no one
I'm sorry. I know you can't speak to... I'm just, I'm
Right.
generalizing women in powerful positions.
But, like, she has an interesting story, and there is dynamics to it that I think people relate to. Like previous marriage, divorced, remarried, Brady Bunch style, where she had a couple of kids, he had a couple of kids, and then they had like 2 or 3 more. Like, so she's got a big family, mixed family, everything. So people gravitate towards that, and I can appreciate that she shares that because it does probably make people. But like, people just steer into it so hard, and I'm like, this is either one of two things. You're either brown nosing like crazy because it's weird because you can think it, but why do you have to like say it in this massive team setting where 600 people have to see your message?
Yeah.
Or is it that, Jeff, like, you just don't have that bone in your body, so like it seems so gross to you, but in reality it's like perfectly healthy for people to admire that out loud, and I'm just Jeff. So like, there's always parts of that make me go like, oh, that's right. You're not good with your emotions and feelings often, so maybe this is a you thing, not them. But
you told the way you told it to me is probably how you would say it to her, but you don't have to make a public show out of it. Like, that's your vibe. So I guess I get where you're going. I guess, yeah, it's tough to begrudge the people who are being public about it and what their intentions are. I mean, I guess that's is it jaded? Is it weary of intentions? Is it like you've seen it enough to where like it's not real? I don't know.
It's probably, I don't know if it's jaded or weary. Because it's not like it's wronged me in the past per se. Like, I feel like that's what jaded would be. But I don't know, like, I have this interesting dynamic, and I think it's very much a full-on change in our lives, based on like social media and stuff. So we have like group chats for our class. So our classroom is about me and like a couple other trainers and about 20 to 30 students. So we'll have a group chat in Microsoft Teams. But of course, Microsoft Teams, for those of you that don't know, is just like any other messaging system. You could have a group chat. You can have individual, click on someone's name and send them a message directly. There are so many people that would rather present their issues and problems, no matter how silly and nonsensical or personal they are, they'd rather put them in the group chat than send a direct message. And I think there's an element that people want to. They want to be on display, even if it's for negative. They want to be on display because it makes them feel interesting and such. So like, I feel like it's the same concept as posting on social media when you're like, why did you post this? I'm not saying you shouldn't feel this way or you shouldn't talk to someone about this, but there's some aspects that are like vague, that you're asking people to beg you for like attention stuff. I don't know, but it's very much apparent in the workplace that we do this too. We want to present our nonsense in front of others instead of just getting the situation resolved by being like, hey, can I get some help on this?
Like, this is the moment my life has been leading to. Finally, I can contribute. This is my personal and work life coming together. Finally, there's an audience and they have to listen. Have you ever been on the, have you ever seen the other side of it where somebody tries to, they think they're sending a DM through Teams and it went into the full chat? Because I did. And it was on, everybody was on video, and this woman, it was sort of like, it wasn't fully negative thing, but it was something like, I don't remember exactly, but the vibe was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just biffed that. Like, and then it's in the full chat, and I looked at it, and I looked at her camera, and I saw the moment she realized.
Oh, did you see it on her face?
Yeah, yeah. She goes, like one of those, like wide eyes, like what to do. Like she's looking, there's nothing that he can do at this point. It's just there, and she's just like, oh my God, like one of those. I was just like, yeah. And then whoever was the guy who was leading the meeting was like, biffed it. And what do you mean by that? Like one of those, and it's like, no, nothing. I was supposed to be a chat. I was like, yes, let's go. It's about as entertaining. I should start tossing those out anyway in regular meetings. Just pretend.
The only thing can do is own up to it. Yeah, I mean, again, that's happened. I mean, that's why you always have to be very mindful if you're gonna sputter some inappropriate or like aggressive or like personal as in like directed very much towards someone. You really just got to be mindful of where you're typing, because Teams can be a little wonky, especially if you have X amount of side things going on. But yeah, I mean, it happens. But even if it happened to other people, it doesn't bother me. Like, because I get it. Like that's okay. It's more of I'm bothered that you're like the people that just choose to put like there's a meeting going on and someone will put in the main chat, "Be right back. I just have to go to the bathroom." And you're like, Matt, we don't even require people to be on camera. So
yeah, you could
have just gone to the bathroom and come back and no one would know. Or
you're killing me, Smalls.
Or you tell someone who's like a trainer because they're in charge. Like, you don't need to tell the class, like, I gotta go make potty. Next time I want you to raise your hand, come off mute and say, I just want to tell everyone I have diarrhea and I have to poop really bad, so I'm going to go poop and it's probably going to be messy. I'll be right back as long as the poop is short, but it probably won't be. Okay, bye. Like, I want that to be the new way that people excuse themselves.
I don't know if I ever brought this up, but this is back when I was in operations of Wegmans, but I had to pass like a food safety thing, which you probably talked about. But during, like, there was a review class, a virtual review class about some of the questions that were going to be on this exam. And it was like, what are the symptoms of like whatever norovirus, something like that. And the chat would type in. And it was the greatest moment in Teams history. And I have a picture of it somewhere on my phone. If I can find it, I will paste it into this episode. But it was like 7 different spellings of diarrhea all in one chat because nobody knew how to spell it, off top. So it's like everybody spelling it their own way that they think is like T-U-R. Is there an H? No, it's a D-H-I. It's a D-H-Y. It's D-I-R.
Because then the words like Gandhi are going through your head and you're like, there's a D and an H next to each other in there, isn't there?
I was like, I didn't even answer that one because I wasn't going to go down. It's like, also, you don't have to. Like, there's enough people where, again, you don't have to answer these, especially if you don't know how to spell diarrhea. Pass on this one. It's okay.
Right.
Now you're in an official work chat forever spelling diarrhea incorrectly, and that's a record. You're on record for that.
Whoever came up with the spelling of diarrhea knew exactly what they were doing. That's called the long con. That's playing the long con and just being like, oh man, it's going to be funny because people are going to debate how to spell this thing.
It is amazing how many people at work. I think it's different at a grocery store because, well, I mean, I went to college, whatever. I did papers and I worked in international education with a lot of like educated people, like a very educated sector of society. And so emails and grammar were always like important, stressed, but it was like just given. And now I work in a spot where a lot of people that are managers now just grew up in the grocery store. They didn't like take grammar, maybe they didn't write papers. Like, so it's so funny to see people that are in their 40s and 50s who just can't spell, refuse to do spell check, don't have proper grammar, don't know how to like create new paragraphs. It's a very bizarre world. Like once I got into it, to see like, and I guess they just don't care about it as much. But in my mind, like I'm so like, it's very important to me. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, you got to respect yourself. Like I can't believe you're sending this out to people. It's wild that like some people just respond to an email like no caps, just not a hello. Fine. Like I'm not that big on like a greeting or whatever, but it's like just absolute refusal to get better at email or writing or typing. And it gets me. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's funny because people are like, the way some people interact with these things, I'm like, man, have you just been successfully evading technology for like the last 20 years? I'm like, because even if you were somewhat gradually going along with it, like you'd be probably fairly okay. But yeah, it's weird to me that just people just, I don't know. I guess it feels like it's common sense, but clearly it isn't. So like, is handling your own life through technology the same way? I guess it's the same as every other aspect of life, right? Like if someone's good at technology and email, it's the same concept as people who, like your dad, are just better at troubleshooting home repair. Like, whereas they're like, well, how did you not pick this up over the last 20 years? And you're like, shit.
True.
Okay.
True.
Like,
yeah.
Right. Where you're like, fuck. I guess that is kind of if you let it be, it's everyday applicable knowledge. Whereas for us, we're more looking on the technology side as everyday applicable knowledge. And it's like, well, you have been successfully avoiding hands-on stuff. So maybe that's the way I need to start looking at it.
I guess it's like, but find a way to learn something, like always be learning is kind of thing. Like it's not giving up on technology, it's giving up on learning in a way.
Yeah.
So like you're right. Like
True.
we've talked about, like I helped, I had to replace an alternator. My dad helped me, but we both like looked up YouTube and we used like a YouTube tutorial because it was the first time we had done it on a Toyota Corolla or whatever. So it was like, and I learned how to do it. Same with like my blower fan in my car. It wasn't working this winter for heat, so I had to like figure it out. I replaced like a resistor and I replaced some like I forgot the name of it already, but some kind of shit, dude. I flipped some shit in the car.
Hell yeah.
All right, I did it, dude. Oh. Yeah, dude. It's like, I did it. I did the thing. I learned how to do it, and it sort of works. So there's that. Did we ever talk about when I first moved to DC, when I was doing my first job, like functional job after college? I don't remember. Do you know much about
like
my DC life?
When you lived in that person's house, you were the transient.
We did talk. Okay.
Living in their house with the
living on the couch.
dinners.
Yeah.
That one felt good.
And I was just thinking about it the other day because my life was basically come quote unquote home to the living room on the couch. I was guy on the couch. And that's when I got really into DDR because I didn't have a bedroom. So the guy I was living with, he had PlayStation 2 and he had the foldable mat, the DDR. And I probably lost like 10 pounds in those 5 months just playing DDR. Like, and I got really good. Like they come on, I was like, ba, 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 ba. And I was like, it's also when I started watching The Office on Netflix DVD. So I would, catch like 4 episodes, send it back, and I'd wait,
what
a week
nightmare.
to get the next set. Yeah. Big deal. And then I would also hear the other roommate boning his girlfriend nightly. And that was like, this is good for him, I guess. She seems happy. That was awkward. Not a great I mean, it was fun, but then I don't know. It wears itself out to them. I could tell I had overstayed my welcome. I was also waiting for my other buddy to move to DC and then for us to get our spot, but weird living,
Let me ask you something. I had something else come up over the weekend. I want to pick your brain about this. So you belong to the GYM, the gymnasium. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how P-Fits work. I've never been to one. Outside of the workout area, they have additional things, not pool per se, but like, was it saunas?
Yes, the black card amenities is there's the massage chairs, kind of like the Brookstone ones, and there's like a hydro massager, which is more of a flat bed that I guess form fits around your body. Then there's like the infrared light thing, and then there's a tanning bed.
Okay, no sauna,
all
steam
for
room?
$25 a month. No, if they did have that, I probably would be interested.
Okay.
I have the basic bitch $10 a month grandfathered in package.
So at the gym down here, it's a regional gym. It's called Edge Fitness. Been going there, and when I go in the mornings, that there's these. You ever notice how like some places, like office buildings and stuff, like they'll just have like sometimes businesses will just place chairs somewhere, and they're like, "Did you just have extra like seating that you wanted to, and like that you felt was an open area? So there's just chairs that don't look like. Why would anyone stop and sit right here? Yeah, like think of like when you see like park benches out in like the city, and you're like, who's stopping for a good sit right here? Like when it's not logical. So anyway, there's these 2 leather chairs that sit behind a row of treadmills that are kind of like the chairs are like offset a bit from where the entrance to the men's locker room is. So it's on like the weight room floor, but just up against the wall. So it's just weird. Like, who would need to just sit there? Well, oftentimes I've been seeing like there's like a guy sleeping in one of those chairs in the mornings, and like with like a hood up, hands in pockets, kind of like doing almost like the, slouched down in the chair, knees out, and just straight up sleeping. And Friday, I think it was a different guy, but there's another guy sleeping. Now, this guy had a hood up, drawstrings closed, and like you could see there was like sunglasses on under there. So I'm like, he is really trying to get a solid good night's sleep in the gym chair.
Is this 24-hour?
It's not. It's not. It opens at like 4:30 on weekdays and closes at like 11. So one of those like most hours, but not 24 hours. So I'm like, are these like homeless guys? I'm like, but they're beeping in, so they have to have a membership. But I'm like, well, I've heard of people buying memberships to gyms to like use the shower. Like you always hear like the people who are living in vans and stuff like that buy a gym membership because you have access to a shower, etc. But I'm like, but he's not showering. He's like sleeping in this chair. So I'm like, it's not a. I'm surprised no one says anything. But I'm like, well, okay. So what is there to say? The staff clearly knows he's there. There's like 7 staff members walking around. Ain't no, like, it's pretty close to the front desk. There's no way someone doesn't know that he's there. So I'm like, what's the scenario? Like, what is happening? And I'm like,
he's paying good money to like go to the gym and sleep in a chair.
Is it bothering me? I'm like, I think I'm so confused that I'm misinforming myself that I'm bothered by it. But it's real. The reality is I'm just very, very confused. And because it's really bright. It's bright. It's loud. Like, it is not a convenient place to sleep. So yes, please indulge me.
My guess, new dad.
Ooh.
Is it bright and loud? Sure it is, but is it as loud as being at home? This is one of those, I got to go to the gym and work this off, and it's just really to go there and sleep sitting in a chair just to get away from just the new baby for a day for like 4 hours. He pays, that's the best money he spends is his gym money so he can go sleep in a chair. That's got it. I bet it's probably in the wheelhouse of, or his living situation. Like for some reason his in-laws are living with him now. They had a house fire and he's just like, they're crashing with him right now. So he's just like, I got to go to the gym and just be alone. That's all it is. Just like, that's it.
Wow.
Not even to work out.
Okay. Maybe that is. Maybe there's a collection of people that have that, that vibe, and that's why I've seen multiple guys.
Or he's on oxys.
Jim, there you go. Drug habits.
Early morning pain pills. Yeah.
So like, gym. Now, obviously, you have access to like showers and locker rooms at your gym, though, with the basic bitch pack.
Right. Yep.
Gym showering, never, constantly, sometimes, certain situations. What's your view on gym showering, or your use of?
I've only considered it if I was going to go in the morning and go right from work, but I've always made time to not do that. So I do not shower at the gym. I just come home and shower. I bring a different like t-shirt to switch into, so I'm not like fully sweat, like
Gross
in the car. Yeah, and then I just take a shower when I get home. I think the showers there are clean. If I was in a pinch, I wouldn't mind it per se. But then, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it full old man. I'm going to walk into the shower fully nude with flip-flops on. No flip-flops. Never mind. No foot protection at all. I'm going to go full nude. And then I'm going to walk out with a towel wrapped just around my neck. Just that's it.
Right.
Holding want to make sure my shoulders are dry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go full gym shower. Yeah.
I have not showered at this gym, but yes, I did used to shower at the gym years ago in Buffalo when I belonged to our YMCA. I would go in the morning before work and it was nice. But you know what? That's a pain in the ass, though, especially when you have to wear like decent clothing for work, because you have to have a decent duffel bag so that like you're not wrinkling stuff, and like it's a hassle. You have to bring a towel, your toiletries. You don't want that stuff to get onto your
And you don't want it
new
to be wet all
clothes.
day. Like,
Yeah, dude, like it's not easy. I'd see a lot of guys like bringing like gym bags and stuff and doing the shower at the gym and stuff. And I'm like, that's a really, like, to do that going into work is very, very difficult. Now, I guess it's a different vibe if you wanted to, because you don't care about wrinkles and such per se necessarily. If you work, then go to the gym, well, then you change into your gym clothes, shower, change back into your work clothes to then drive home. I guess that I could see still feels like a lot of steps, but you have to worry less about making your clothes messy before going into work. But yeah, like a lot of people are showering. Like almost at any hour I go to the gym, someone is showering and stuff, and I'm like, man, that's a dedication. That's a tough. It's not an easy switcheroo like the movies always make. The movies make it seem like everyone always showers at the gym constantly. Or know who
Yeah, like
else made
big
it seem like
communal.
everyone's always showering is whoever's building these schools. Whoever's building our schools is like, dude, people are
I
gonna be
know.
showering all the fucking time.
Yeah, in the 50s. Like our high school, remember it had like
Dude,
yeah,
like
big
90
shower. Even our middle
showers.
school. Our middle school
Yeah.
had like fucking showers. Remember, yeah, Mr. Well, I don't want to say his name. Just like,
Nope.
I don't know if he ever said it, but he always had the vibe of like, well, boys, make sure they'll let you go early so you can go in there and just work up a good lather, you know?
Right.
To
It's
get,
like,
get yourself a good good rinse.
Right. It's
like,
like,
nah,
sir,
I'll just sweat all
the
day.
bell's
sorry.
the bell's gonna ring in 7 minutes. What do you like? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, like it's not. Certainly, I don't know why people think like communal showers are gonna work for young people. Like whoever was like, kids won't think that's weird. Like, no, it's literally the weirdest and like most inflammatory bully aspect concept possible in a child's mind.
I know.
That it's just like, oh yeah, no, we'll just build one massive communal shower. But in general, let's stop acting like like we don't do it with toilets, all right? We don't poop in communal poops like where the toilets are just lined up. Why do we think we would want to do that with showering?
Oh, like a poop trough? Like a stadium
Well,
poop trough?
There's
On
but
ice?
There's stalls. So like no, yeah, imagine not a trough, but imagine if all of the toilets were just
An
lined
island.
up. You
Yeah.
yes, island back to back, so you're all facing
Yeah, yeah.
outwards, but
Yeah,
your
yeah.
shoulders could touch. It's like a poop starfish. But yeah, like we know that that's
There's a title.
poop starfish. We know that that's not something anyone wants to do. So let's stop acting like showers shouldn't have stalls. All right, showers need stalls. That's just the way it is. If you're gonna have public showers, they have to have stalls. People need their privacy. So that's. But gyms nowadays, I think that's generally the case. But in with that, we do have a sauna room, and it seems like the rules of the sauna room are pretty, I think, up for interpretation. I've seen a lot of different guys think that the sauna room is appropriate for different things. So I think it says you're not. Does it say you're not supposed to have shoes in there? It says something. You're
That
not supposed to
probably
have
makes sense,
something
yeah.
in there, but like, so it's a sauna room, not a steam room. So
Like
it's just
rock sauna?
it's dry heat. It's not steam or anything. It's just completely like dry heat.
Okay.
I think it runs at about like 110 or no 115 or so. So it's crazy because like it makes you sweat and it feels pretty comfortable. Like you want, especially when you walk out and it's really that cold flash. But you're
Is
in
there
there
a
for
cold plunge or cold water shower?
No, we don't.
outside of
We
it or
don't have
anything?
that.
Oh.
Nope. But like, I've seen like old men go in there with just a towel on, and then yet the younger guys, a lot of them are just going in with their gym shirt and gym shorts and shoes on. So I'm like, this is a weird environment.
That's lunacy. That's lunacy. I mean,
So
my gripe with, especially, I'm having a hard time, or I had been having a hard time adjusting to like the 5-6 o'clock workout schedule because of like who's at the gym, and it's usually It's the creatine bros, you know, the to carry the shaker around with them the whole time, the big weights. Like it's the guys, especially at PFIT, that are like, I've seen guys there with a camera, like for their Instagram or something like that. They're not all like that, but they're more serious, like lifters. Not a lot of cardio guys, but a lot of them run in packs, and a lot of them are younger. But it's like, I'm not into the. Some of these guys just sit in the locker room and hang out, which would be fine if they were talking to each other, but they're always just scrolling on their phones next to each other.
Weird.
And like, move it along. Like, because I'm coming in, I got to get naked to put on my whatever, shorts, my undershorts and all that. And they're always facing, if you're going to do that, face outward. Like, they're always facing in towards so they can, like, see everything. So I'm like, great, now I got to whip my, because I don't want to be the guy whipping his balls out in the locker room. But it's like, could you move it along? Like, because I'm always looking for an opportune time. I'm not like a never nude. I don't mind, but I also don't want it to be like, because it's always the perfect time. Like, for some reason, guys love to look. As soon as they have a whiff of a shirt being peeled off, they're like, let me check the comparison. Like these kinds of guys, because they're always comping themselves to other guys. Like, how cut are they? You know, what's your max? Like, there's literal conversations about that in the locker room. Like, what with the weight they're putting up, like very dude bro-ish. And I'm like, oh my God. So anytime you pull a shirt off, or God forbid, take shorts off, it's like an instinctual look, and it's like, I'm like, dude, I don't want you to have to see my balls. But also, what are you doing in here? This isn't your, like, keep it. Right. I don't get it. I guess I don't get it. Like, keep it moving. What are you doing here?
When you walk into the locker room, you have to have your plan. Execute your plan. Like, go in.
Do something.
Use the toilet. Shower. Go to a stall. Always be moving, right? You have to be making progress. It's not the time to scroll. It's not.
Yeah. And if you were going to hang, talk to your buddy, look at them, like, have that instead of like doing this shoulder to shoulder talking, but just looking around at all the other fellas in the locker room trying to size yourself up. It's a very bizarre thing, and I'm sure it's a lot of like, I think that's our society now with IG culture, is like the comparisons, the unhealthy comparisons to other people, and
for sure,
you know, everybody's just a victim of it, but. Do better, I guess is what I'd say. Just do better. So,
I like that.
Or you're gonna get my balls in your face. That's the tacit agreement that we have.
I like it.
Speaking
of, go.
I
was gonna say, speaking of doing better.
Speaking of balls. Oh.
Nope. Sorry. I'm gonna drop off the testicle talk real quick. So. Obviously, grocery stores, somewhere around the I don't know, I would say the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, grocery stores never used to, like, lock stuff up, right? We never really had stuff locked
cosmetics up. And shaving shit.
So I found a new one this weekend. I had to go pick up.
Could I guess?
Oh, sure.
I'm going to guess one thing.
Sure.
Well, I don't want to go with the... One that surprised me that I've seen lately is like Red Bulls or energy drinks.
Ooh. Yes, I have seen that one place before.
Or they're like behind the service counter. You got to go get them.
This is
like
not
teeth
that.
Whitener.
And it's weird too because like razors were a big one in the beginning.
Stuff that you can resell on the black market.
And is small but expensive. Right, I think that was an aspect of razors too. Small but expensive, so
a lot of toiletries
led to theft.
A lot of them, yeah.
So this one I had never seen, and I went to another store because I'm like, I'm not asking someone to open up this for me because I have to find someone, and I'm like, nope, not doing this. So I just went to a different store, bought it because at every other place it's not locked up. Glade plugins to make your house smell nice.
Wow.
Whole series of plugins were all locked up behind a case. I'm like...
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
So, I'm like, what an interesting product to have to put, like, air fresheners. So I'm like, no one with the mindset of petty theft is going like, I want my house to smell really nice, but I'm not willing to pay like the $5 for it. So I must steal these plugins. And then the seller was like, all right, that's it. Our inventory is shot for plugins.
This whole damn city smells like apple cinnamon.
Right. This is fucking chaos. Like, we cannot have this anymore. We're going to have to lock this up so that an adult human has to come up and be like, "Hi, can I have some help to go get some air fresheners?" Like, I'm not going to be that human. So I'm like, I guess I'm just going to go to a different store. So like, now when I mentioned this,
you got to sell you. Hey, I need to buy some condoms from behind the case. So actually, I just need some of that Hawaiian Tropic Febreze. If you know, can I get the?
Can I get the clean linen?
Yeah.
So, like, I messaged Caitlin about it instantly. I had to text someone about it, but I'm like, oh, this is gonna get brought up on the pod. So, and she's like, she's like, what the hell? She's like, I wonder what kind of drug is being manufactured.
Whoa.
Through whatever's in Glade plugins. I go,
yeah.
That might be
Good
something.
thought.
I'm like, that's
good
that's
instincts.
that's right. Yeah. That's good instincts. I'm like, yeah, it's not that they're stealing it to make their house fresh.
Yeah.
They're stealing it for, they have a ulterior, they have an ulterior motive, which I recently heard someone say alternative motive. And then I thought,
those are words.
Ulterior motive. Tell me another instance in which you use the word ulterior. Other than motives.
To describe probably a part of the body. I don't know. It seems anatomic.
Is it?
Go.
Is that what the UCL is?
I don't know.
Now
I'm throwing it out there.
Huh.
I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Ulterior cruciate ligament. That's the UCL.
Yes. Yes. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Huh. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But the better thing is after I got my Glade plugins, I went out into the parking lot. And as I'm like loading my stuff into my car, I'm just about to go in my car and I hear someone go, "Kill the white man." And I'm like, What? Now, they weren't saying it to me. They were just saying it to the person that they were with. And I look over. I'm like, who just said kill the white man? Ratchety, lady, white, 60s. I'm like,
what in the hell is going on
I
here?
don't know if she was saying it like, these people are always like kill the white man, because it sounded like there was a snark in the voice, so I'm guessing like she's not being like down, kill whitey, but like just people that are willing to just say anything in a parking lot. I mean, all right, so the potential drug theft of plugins and someone in the parking lot saying kill whitey, I'm guessing you can assume what establishment I was at.
Is it a Dollar General?
No.
A Walmart?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The latter. But kill whitey didn't even bother me as much as the fact that the person that she was with like struggled to ramp up the cart and move it onto like the center median in front of their car instead of putting it in the corral, which was no more than 10 feet away from their parking spot. It was their spot, an open spot in the fucking cart corral. And this man looks like he's struggling to launch the cart up on top of the sidewalk. I'm like, there was an easier, less effortful solution, and it was the real solution. So like within 5 seconds, I'm just like, I fucking hate society. Like, this is why if I ever become a supervillain, it's because society has done this to me. Everyone else has made me that way. Yep.
You know what? Well, I know a lot of those, like... Wait, did you find out if it is part of a drug, by the way? Did you look that up yet?
I did not, no.
Oh. Well, I do know, like, for real, I did say the black market about this stuff, but there is, like, stores around Syracuse that operate and purchase from thieves, like toiletries, laundry soap, like razors, all that kind of shit, shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times we were catching people steal that stuff who clearly weren't using it. A lot of these folks, not shampoo users, I'll say that. But it's because they could, like, steal it and, like, sell it for, like, a buck or two at these other shops that operate legally, but sell, like, goods because they buy it cheaper from the thieves, and then they, in turn, go buy drugs with it. So it's a very healthy market that's operating. Wow. So, like, Glade plugins would be perfect because they fit in pockets, easy to swipe.
Yeah, it
moving
looks
on
like,
to...
Yeah, it looks like
what is it?
People are using it as, like, inhalants. Jesus Christ, fucking Looney Tunes.
Oh, good. Okay, so it's just straight up drug. Cool. All right. Yeah, if you put it into a
people are like butt chugging it.
Plug-in. Yeah.
Plug it in.
Plug it into like amperage way too high. Put it into a compressor. Just run it. We're just like huffing that cinnamon. Speaking of stealing, this week I've learned how to steal for free. I guess stealing's always free.
Isn't that the whole thing?
But it's totally legal. It's totally legal. Look at this. Look what I got myself.
A library card?
I got myself a library card.
Wow.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So I remember I went to the library like the first week I came back here, and they were like, "Oh, you need to have residence." And I was like, "Well, I sure don't have anything to prove that. I'll come back when I do." So 3.5 years later, I was like, "Oh, I should go do that again." Really, because I didn't realize. Well, I guess in my mind, the library, my contacts were little kid books, going to get Dr. Seuss's, all that, and then college, where it was just like research papers. So I never really went there, like, especially now the library, like I think of it, the Seymour Library, it's very much like, for libraries to exist now, they have to be like pop libraries, like pop literature. So it's a lot of like mysteries, like that kind of shit, and thrillers and romance. Sure. And it's like, okay, where's like the literature, like fiction? And they do have a room of that. So, but I also discovered they have a room filled with DVDs and Blu-ray that you can just take out for free. Do I have a Blu-ray player anymore? No, but still, last week we were talking about off air how in my town you can now rent a movie theater to watch a Blu-ray. So anyways, that's still in the works. Still thinking about that. But they had like brand new movies. Like there was like a movie that was nominated for like whatever the Oscars that was already out in Blu-ray, A Real Pain or whatever, which I watched streaming. Recommend it. Good movie. But they also have a bunch of other shit there. Like there's a telescope that you can check out with your library card. There's games like board games. There's lawn games. Like the game we played. What'd you call it? What did we play with those sticks at Bob's place?
Cool.
Yeah, they have a box of that you could just take out of the library.
Wow.
And I really got it because online, so I'd been using Spotify a lot to like do audiobooks on my commutes, and Spotify only gives you like whatever, like 15 hours per month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wears out. So I was like, God damn. It's like, well, I could get an Audible and then just pay for that per month. But then I found this app called Libby, which is like a library app. It probably is in every city, but allows you to check things out. You can download like magazine. Like you could look at a magazine. I might look at magazines again just on my phone for free. And but books, or you can have an e-reader. But also, you can download, check out full audiobooks for free. I mean, if they're on hold, you can put them on hold, like if somebody already has them. But there's no limit to it. So I was like, holy fuck! Like it's all like I basically have a library on my phone now. So it's real neat. So my recommendation to people is go check out your local libraries. You probably haven't heard that sentence since the 90s, right?
Right.
Go to your local library. But they got a ton of shit now. It's really cool. I'm definitely going to check out that telescope one day when it's clear. And it's like a small, you'll probably fit inside of like a duffel bag. It's like one of those compact, but like fatties, But yeah, now I got on my phone. Oh, and then also, anybody in the world can sign up for the New York Public Library for free. and you can check out anything that they have too. Like if you go to New York Public Library, you don't need a license, don't need anything. You just got to register. I know, in fact, they don't check anything because I accidentally spelled my last name Jones. I spelled it with a B, Jobes. So my name to the New York Public Library is Matt Jobs. And they don't know. They don't even give a fuck. I can just check out. I can access all their shit too for free. So there's a whole world out there, you guys, of free shit. Especially if I had like an iPad or a tablet. Like I might pretend I was just flipping through a magazine. I'm going to check out whatever. Scientific American. Do I care about it? No. But if I can look at it for free, I will. But yeah, tons of audiobooks. I don't know why I'm just selling this so hard, but it rocked my world.
Wow.
I can't believe what a library can offer a boy like me.
What a library.
So, yeah, it was a great discovery. I've discovered the thing that everybody 50 and older has been doing for decades.
Guys, for real, this exists.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always knew it, but I didn't know it worked like this. I mean, I did, I just think of it as like regular books. And I think of it as like old Brodarted books. Brodart's got like the plastic clear, sleeve around the outside so you don't pee on the book or something. I don't know what it's for, but that's how I think of it. They also still use the Dewey Decimal System for nonfiction at the Seymour Library.
Yes.
So I was like, that's good. I don't know. I forgot how to use that.
Like
but I'll
card
just work my way
catalog.
around. Yeah. Well, they still have behind the desk like the card catalog drawers, but they repurpose them for like pens and other things because it's not real. And then she was looking me up. She was like, "Oh, have you ever had a library card here?" And I was like, "Yeah, but it was a while ago." She's like, "Oh, you're not coming up here." I was like, "Oh, because I had it when it was yellow and it was paper." She's like, "Oh God, that was a long time ago."
Right?
Like, yeah.
You're like, no,
Like,
you're not listening, ma'am. I'm
Yeah.
talking
This is like
multiple calendar
1990.
decades ago.
yeah. She's like, "Oh my God." Yeah. I'm a newbie. But yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd toss it out there. And I don't know. I might go back. Maybe I'll rent a movie for free and bring it back whenever I want to without rewinding it.
It could help with your media, your desire for the 100 pieces of media.
Content. All that content.
Yep, all that
All the
content.
media. So,
Wow. So that's
all I got.
This episode is sponsored by libraries. Like we can't follow that up with any more of our bullshit because like that's a really good, solid message to end a podcast episode with.
I know. And I can't wait till they all get put out of business. And the library.
There it is. There's the snark.
That's going to happen. Oh, no. All right. Down with libraries. Somebody thinks that.